Thanks for joining us for this on-the-road edition of Connections from the Kentucky Center for the Arts in Louisville, where we're catching up with Simon T. Bailey, who's an internationally renowned speaker, author, and consultant. He gave up his high-salaried position as an executive with Disney to create the Brilliance Institute, which we'll tell you all about. So if you want to unleash your own hidden potential and discover what you're really destined to do and be, then you don't want to miss today's show. Oh, brilliant one, Simon Bailey. Welcome back to Kentucky. People will get that when we finish the show. They'll wonder why I call you Oh Brilliant One.
Thank you, Oh Brilliant One.
I will say, I had the pleasure of meeting you 2 years ago, around this time, 2007, for Leadership Kentucky. You were our culminating graduation speaker, and you were so inspiring. You captivated us the whole day, which not every speaker does, and not an easy challenge. And you talked about releasing your brilliance and how you kind of tap into all that hidden potential that we all have.
When I wrote Release Your Brilliance, I was really writing it from a deep place of pain. And I was writing it almost as therapy for my soul to really deal with my unfinished business.
Wow.
Because what I realized is whatever you don't deal with will eventually deal with you.
Yeah, that's right.
So Mom and Dad dropped me off at Morehouse College. At the end of my freshman year, they said, we don't have the money to send you back to Morehouse, nor do we have money to bring you back home to Buffalo. So needless to say, I'm stuck in Atlanta. I ended up moving into a drug-infested community. Only had a mattress on the floor, bright green beanbag from the 70s, a couple of milk crates turned over with a black and white TV on top of it, with a hanger hanging out of the back of the TV with a piece of aluminum foil wrapped around the hanger. You have a visual so far?
I had the visual,
okay.
Yeah.
So now I wasn't poor, I was po. That's 2 levels below.
That's right, that's
right. And it was probably one of the toughest times in my life.
And a humbling time in your life.
Very humbling. I was on public transportation. I had bumblebee tuna and a carton of milk in the refrigerator. I was on the original Atkins diet before I knew it. And
you could be even more rich if you would have handed that, you know?
And I was working at the Days Inn downtown making a whopping $5.10 an hour.
Wow.
And so I was offered a job to go and work at the Ritz-Carlton Buckhead, but I couldn't see myself going and working in an environment where we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. Would you please pass the Grey Poupon? You know,
Right.
I was like, okay, Days Inn, Ritz-Carlton.
Right.
And what I really realized so many years later why I turned the job down at the Ritz is because I didn't think I was good enough. And it's there when I discovered Renee, it's not who you are that holds you back, it's who you think you're not that holds you back. And I was focusing more time on who I wasn't instead of who I really was.
Yeah. People can go to the website simontbailey.com,
Yes.
and there are all kinds of fantastic clips of you doing what you do
Yes.
and inspiring people. And you talk a lot in your book about the diamond. That's your metaphor.
Yes.
Tell us, what is it about the diamond, and how does that relate to us as unleashing our potential as human beings?
Well, when a diamond is found in the earth, a diamond goes through heat, pressure, and change. Most of the people that are listening to us right now have probably been through their own experience of a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, and a lot of change. Well, you go through that in order to release the potential that's in you. So if the diamond would have never went through that, which, by the way, the diamond is the hardest substance on earth, if it would have never went through that, it would have never released its potential or brilliantly shine from the inside out. So what I try to do is draw the connection is that all of us are diamonds. All of us have the potential to be brilliant if we just embrace the heat, the pressure, and the change, because change is your friend, not your foe. Change is a brilliant opportunity to grow.
Why the word brilliant? Why is that the word that you use so much? Even that when people greet each other who've gone to your seminars, we say, hey, oh brilliant one. I mean, I go to my accountability partner that I had and I say, hey, oh brilliant one. You know, why is that chant so important to you?
It's important because the word brilliant first appeared in the 17th century, comes from a French word called briller, which means to shine. And it is my fundamental belief that everybody wants the ability to shine, but sometimes they're put into environments where they are tolerated rather than celebrated. So, and some of the research that I based the book on is the work of Dr. Howard Gardner, professor of education at Harvard. And what he said they found that children up until the age of 4 are operating at the genius level. This same group of children were studying in their early 20s, and only 10% were still operating at the genius or the brilliance level, and in their late 20s, only 2%. So the question is, where did the genius or brilliance go?
Right.
It didn't go anywhere, but it became buried by a society that says, color within the lines, sit down, give it back. You can't do that.
Right.
And Renee, the more and more you continue to hear what you can't do, where you can't go, and who you can't become, there's a neurological path that is created in the brain that causes individuals to shut down. So the reason I want people to greet each other saying, oh, brilliant one, I am evoking out of you who you already are. I'm calling you into what you were always meant to be.
And everyone, you say, is brilliant. And we think, now how can that be? Because people have different IQs,
Sure.
intellectual quotients,
Sure.
people are different capacities, different skill sets.
Sure.
So everyone is brilliant, even those who may be more challenged?
It's interesting you would say that, because after writing the book and being a person who's a lifelong learner, I was tasked with the question, well, what if a person has a disability?
Right.
You know, what if a person is mentally challenged? You know, how can they be brilliant? Because you said everybody has brilliance. And what I've discovered is everybody has the potential to be brilliant in their own way, no matter what that is. So if people decide to pursue their brilliance, how they go about doing that, it might be a taxi cab driver, it might be a stay-at-home mom, it might be a truck driver, just finding their place in life to make a difference in someone else's life. That's being brilliant.
I guess we think of brilliance only in terms of those who make large salaries,
Yes.
you know, who are famous. We don't think of normal, everyday folks that we work with or go to church with or whatever as being brilliant.
Absolutely.
And so you're saying we need to change the definition, perhaps, of how we change our definition of
Yes.
brilliance, not yours, of course.
We need to flip it.
Yeah.
We need to flip it. I'll give you a prime example. I got an email from a woman, 64 years of age. She said, Simon, I've just gone through my second brain aneurysm, and I read your book, Release Your Brilliance, and your book told me that I can be a brilliant diamond. And I had totally forgotten at 64 that I have something that I could offer. Well, I mean, good Lord, Renee, I could have just checked out right there because she got it. I got another phone call from a gentleman who said, Simon, I'm in New York City. I was on the train and I saw Release Your Brilliance stuck under the seat on the train and nobody else saw it. And I picked up your book and I started reading it. And he says, I was at the end of my rope and your book told me that I could be brilliant no matter what. And he says, thank you so much for writing that book. And you know what? That's the whole point. It's not about IQ. It's not just about intelligence, though those things are important. It's about how do I become the best me that I can be for the time I'm here on earth. Businesses are reading the book and they really are determining how do they remove the brilliance blockers so that everybody is doing their best work.
So what are the brilliance blockers? What are those?
Oh my goodness. Sometimes management is a brilliance blocker. People don't leave companies, they leave managers that don't get them. Sometimes innovation is a brilliance blocker or the lack thereof. Organizations doing the same old, that's deja vu. What organizations have got to begin to practice is vujade. Seeing what everybody else sees, but flip it and take it to the next level. Another thing that blocks brilliance is when people are not learning, because when people are not learning in an environment, they stop growing. When they stop growing, they stop living and being as productive as they can.
So money, is that a brilliance blocker?
You know what? It depends on the individual. Yes, money might be important, but when you do all of the studies, people truly want satisfaction and happiness. Money can definitely help with that, but at the end of the day, when you understand your brilliance, you don't chase money, money chases you.
You know, one of the greatest products that I found by Simon was, of course, Release Your Brilliance. And as you can see, I definitely used my copy. I've got it post-it noted. And if you flip through the inside, you'll see several lines highlighted and underlined. There's just a lot of great information on there. When I first got the book, I read it through. Single sitting one night. I should have been asleep, but I read it straight through because it was just so full of information. And then I realized that, you know what, I need to go back slowly and take it chunk by chunk. It was a lot of wonderful, wonderful tools to use, and that's what I did. I sat with my laptop and I would do a chapter each night, answering, you know, he would, at the end of each chapter, he has a little self-evaluation and exercises, and I did them. I did every one of them, did it on my laptop so I could save it for, you know, print it out, save it forever, And that is probably one of the best things about Simon is his books are just not sit there and read and and now that's you'll get it. It's you're doing something. You have to be proactive because you're the one. You are the only one that can change your life. And let's get started by doing some of the exercises and formalizing and writing down what this book can do for you. And so this is why I love this book so much.
I would absolutely encourage every person that really gets the opportunity to see this information to invest in themselves for the long haul. These are principles that Simon Bailey shares that are really, truly life-changing. And if you take the time, we invest in so many things in our lives that really don't bring any true value, at least good positive value that you can see results in the future. It's just for an immediate gratification. But I truly believe there's a residual effect that Simon, really pours into his books and his CDs. Everything as he speaks, it's just like something that will sustain you on a long-term basis, that will change your life. It will shape and mold you to be a better you. And I'm so glad that I took the time and recognize that I'm good where I'm at, but I can always be better. So I'm glad I bought the Simon Bailey. Simon says dreams, release your brilliance. And anything that Simon puts out there is something that you want to grab a hold to, and you'll go for a journey, you'll go for a ride of your life.
I would say that one of the core things that I learned from Simon was the fact that we are usually the person that the only thing that holds us back from success is ourselves. The mental or the whatever we think, maybe mental or education or physical, that's holding us back, it's ours. And there's no limits out there. It's just what we've put up for ourselves. And he helped me realize that and push past that and have confidence in that I can do it.